The only one more excited for this day to come than me has got to be Intel. They have been hard at work on their Arc series dedicated GPUs since at least 2017 when they hired Raja Koduri from AMD, who was leading up their Radeon graphics division. And it's finally freaking here. This is their Alchemist, codename first generation Arc flagship, the A770. And ooh, it comes with important safety and regulatory information. Neat. Let's play indeed. It's a cute case badge. Holy crap, this is it. You gotta give them full credit. It looks flippin' sick. Hold on. This plugs into a USB header, and this is going to handle the RGB lighting on your graphics card. That's right, a reference card with RGB. What is this? International power plugs? Is this seriously a stand for the card? Is that what it is? Is it a stand? Oh, I see. Why does it come with two bases? Wait, shut up. That's their solution to be able to wall mount it, or wall mount it this way? Is to have two completely separate bases with the power switch in a different spot? Oh, yeah. Couldn't engineer a better solution. You know what, fine. Oh, fatal flaw. We got the top-down camera and I have no way of showing it to the top-down. Wait. A solution. Now, the performance embargo hasn't lifted yet, but we can talk about all the detailed specs, and Intel has released enough performance information about this GPU that we can make some pretty educated guesses. First, the basics though. The Arc lineup is divided up into 3, 5, and 7 series products, just like you would see on their desktop CPUs. So this being an A770 makes it the top performer of their top series. It uses their DG2 512 processor, clocked at 2.1 gigahertz. That means it has 32 of their Xe cores and 32 ray tracing units. It's equipped with 8 or 16 gigabytes of video memory. That's what makes this the limited edition. It has 16 gigs of memory, and that's connected via a 256-bit bus, and it's rated to draw 225 watts of power, which is our first red flag, because Intel says that this card is designed to compete against NVIDIA's RTX 3060 and AMD's Radeon 6650 XT, both of which draw in the neighborhood of 160 to 170 watts. Also, neither of which use a 256-bit memory bus. That means that, especially once we dig in a little deeper and find the transistor count of this card, that Intel was hoping for better performance out of this GPU, more along the lines of a 3070 or a 6700 class card. Making matters more complicated for Intel, NVIDIA has already announced their RTX 40 series of cards. However, NVIDIA's pricing is so far out to lunch that if at the price Intel has announced, which is $330 for this card, they do manage to be competitive with a 3060, 3060 Ti, and if the overclocking headroom is anywhere near what they've talked about, Arc could actually end up being pretty competitive. I guess we should take a closer look at the card. Man, did they ever nail the aesthetics. You've got a diffused RGB strip down here, diffused RGB lighting around both of the fans. Man, in real life, once it's lit, it looks amazing. Oh, do you have a test bench for me right there? Bellavance has got a test bench for me. Hey, thank you.
So welcome.
All right, let's just, yeah, what could go wrong? That could go wrong. Yeah. One thing to note is that, probably because it was intended to come out a lot sooner, the Arc series does not use any of the new funky PCIe power connectors. It just has a standard 8-pin plus 6-pin. Oh, and that USB is right here. Is that what that USB connector is for? I thought I remember them telling me that it was for RGB, but like you're connected via PCIe. Couldn't you just do it that way? Can't wait to show this to you guys. Oh, after this message from our sponsor. Thanks to iFixit for sponsoring today's video. iFixit wants to help you skip your next phone upgrade, helping you save money. If your battery life sucks, put in a new battery. If your screen is broken, replace it using one of iFixit's fix kits, starting at just $10.99 US. You can repair everything from camera lenses to screens, batteries, and more, and their step-by-step guides are designed to help you along the way with photos and detailed instructions. You can visit the link in the video description to find the repair kit that's right for your phone. Hey, there we go. Does that look awesome or what? Of course, there's more to a GPU than just looks. Starting with, is it even gonna fit in your case? So we grabbed a couple of objects that we can compare our A770 to, starting of course with our classic ShortCircuit banana for scale. A little something like that, lttstore.com, but also some more useful things. For context, here is a 3080 Ti. It's a top tier flagship level card. It's pretty big. It's almost as big as a 3080 Ti. Here's a 3060 Ti. This is more along the lines of the kind of Founders Edition card that you might be competing with in terms of performance. It's a little on the long boy side. Here's our 6700 XT, which is actually a higher tier card than this, and it's about the same size, which again, would give you some idea of what Intel was actually targeting. And you can see this in some of the other specs as well. When we compare the raw pixel rate and texture rate, memory bandwidth with something like a 3060 Ti, the A770 kind of craps all over it. But because Intel is kind of new to the driver game when it comes to high performance dedicated GPUs, it's speculated that aside from any architectural oversights there might have been on a first-gen product, they have a lot to learn, especially when it comes to optimizing for older, especially DirectX 9 and earlier titles. And you can't not support them, because that's part of the beauty of PC gaming, is that you've got this incredible back catalog of games that you can go back and play even on modern hardware, though it sometimes does take a little bit of hackery. In spite of all the delays, one reassuringly modern thing about this card is its feature set. Intel is claiming that right out of the gate, they're going to have ray tracing performance that is up to 65% stronger peak compared to their rivals. Okay, so up to peak. That's a lot of qualifications, but hey, at least they're gonna support ray tracing right out of the gate, and they're gonna have support for XE supersampling, XeSS, which is a competitor to NVIDIA's deep learning supersampling and AMD's Fidelity FX super resolution, using AI to boost frame rates at higher resolutions. How well it works, though, remains to be seen, and based on how much work NVIDIA and AMD have already put into this technology, I would say Intel is going to be playing catch up. Where they won't be playing catch up is in their display interfaces. On the back here, we're going to find HDMI 2.1, so you'll be able to do up to 4K 120 Hertz, or 8K 60, I believe you can do on HDMI 2.1. And this is where things get really cool. This is our first hands-on with DisplayPort 2.0. However, unlike previous versions of DisplayPort, DP 2.0 is not just a cut and dried, here's what you get. It's divided up into ultra high bitrate, UHBR 10, 13.5, I think, and 20. And what those numbers mean is the data rate times 4. So these are DP 2.0 UHBR 10 for a total of 40 gigabit per second ports, okay? It's a little confusing, kind of wish it was just UHBR 40, so that would be a little more intuitive for normies. But in a world where USB naming conventions exist, I guess this is a win. Another win and another modern feature is Intel's support for AV1 encoding. And not on this GPU, but we have actually played around with it a fair bit in the last week on Intel Arc on the A380, and it's pretty freaking cool. At 3,500 kilobit per second, our encoded game streaming footage looks about the same as NVIDIA's NVENC at 6,000 kilobit per second. So what this means is that once platforms like Twitch support it, you can expect to be able to stream at the same quality that people can today on a much lesser internet connection, or you can expect to see better quality Twitch streams. Pretty cool. For all my positivity though, and as much as I would love for there to be a valid third competitor in the dedicated graphics card space, I do have to temper my enthusiasm a little bit because Intel is up against a lot of obstacles. They've got to figure out that backwards compatibility game performance. They've got to compete with AMD and NVIDIA both releasing new series of GPUs when Arc Alchemist was really supposed to be competing with the last series of GPUs. And another big one is that we talk about secondhand GPUs a lot, and given the recent crypto crash, there's a lot of them out there at very aggressive pricing. And the reality of it is that Intel doesn't have any used GPUs, and they certainly don't benefit from selling them. So it's going to be an extremely competitive market. They seem pretty confident in their $329 pricing, and I certainly wish them luck, but hey, if that doesn't work out for them, then it can only be a win for gamers because they've made them, so now they definitely have to sell them. Just like I'm gonna sell you that you should go subscribe to LTT while you're subscribing to ShortCircuit so you don't miss our full review of this and other Arc Alchemist cards.